Check, check. Mic check, 1 2 1 2, baby. Smooth TV. What's up? What's up with y'all? Hey, in case you don't know, my name is Zane. And I would like to think I'm part of Smooth TV. I don't know. You'd have to ask them though. You'd have to ask the crew. But I excuse me. I think I look at them. I look at Smooth TV as my brothers, man. And it's weird I say that because we haven't known each other for too long, but last few years, ever since like 2020, I think people have been leaving the family that they've been stuck with most of their life, and they've been finding their actual family. So we may argue, bicker, go back and forth, but they know I respect them, man. Even if I might not always show it, but I try to always show love. I hope that everybody in Smooth TV, that drops content, I hope I was able to help y'all in some type of way, even if it was a share. So, this ain't a very structured live. As you can see, I'm live on Smooth TV. I usually go live on the Godcast on my platform, but this ain't the Godcast. I'm not gonna come on Smooth TV no more and promote dropping the Godcast. And when I come on Smooth TV, I want it to be more shout out to Smooth TV, more respect. But it ain't that structured. I got some topics here I didn't want to forget because I didn't do much planning. But we're gonna talk Orlando Brown. We're gonna talk the Smooth TV podcast that just dropped. If you didn't see it, catch it on a playback. I was able to check out maybe like an hour of it or so, and pretty dope. I'm probably gonna watch it back, when I got some more time. We're gonna talk the Key Bridge, and we're gonna talk about one of the biggest trending topics in the world right now, P. Diddy. So, if this was the Godcast, I would keep it a little structured, more around the gospel. Sometimes I throw out some topics, but it's Smooth TV, man. I may be a Christian and I may spread the gospel, but I'm still human, and I still do human things, man. I'm not saying I'm about to sin right now, but there's some things going on in the world, and it's just very weird, man, and I want to speak about it. But since this is Smooth's network, let's talk about the Smooth podcast that they just dropped. It was pretty dope. I think it could have been structured better, but I didn't like when it first started, so some of y'all might not like anime. The beginning is a lot of anime. Hey, if that's your thing, man, that's your thing. But definitely keep watching. Even if you're not into anime, keep watching, because topics do get better. They started talking about one topic that I kind of liked. It was what type of dudes. They didn't say it like this, but what type of dudes do women want? You know what I'm saying? What type of professions that a man works, or type of job, get the most women? And they were throwing out some stuff like, I think they said maintenance men. That's one thing I didn't understand. Maintenance men. I don't think you mean maintenance men. If you know what a real maintenance man is, he's one of them guys that walk around with that big old bucket of keys, jang-a-lang-a-lang, all them keys, and go to get into the door, and that's all you hear. Million keys, usually an older type dude. I think what y'all meant was like a contractor, somebody that comes out, checks out the house, maybe installing stuff. But y'all said maintenance man. I don't think they get that much women. If anything, they just got a wife at home. What else y'all say? I said personal trainer. That's like my first answer, personal trainer. And the reason I did that was because I mean, it's common sense, man. You gotta think, like, if you can make a girl feel, for one, if you can make a girl feel better about herself, she gonna like you a little bit. But it don't mean she gonna want you. It just means she gonna like you. If you can make a girl feel attractive, she might go on a date with you. If you can make a girl feel like sexy, if you can make her really feeling herself and see a change in herself, she gonna want you, regardless. I think that's who the women pick anyway. The men that make, the men that can, a man that can make a woman feel good, you know. And I think a lot of us men, we forget that. We so caught up in like social media where we think all women want a man making six figures, you know, this and that, looks, this and that. Just simply, I mean, for me, I never had much money, you know. I've been on the streets. I've had my stuff sorted together. I've been up and down in my life, and I think I've had the most success with females when I could just simply make them laugh or, you know, make them feel attractive. But when I try to like impress them, you know what I mean, it never seemed to work, man. So yeah, any profession I think that can make a girl feel good, make her feel good, man. You know, that's why one of the things that they brought up was handyman type stuff. You know, somebody said HVAC. I mean, I do plumbing, but one thing I have noticed, when we go in somebody's house and it's like it's rare, but it's like a younger woman there by herself, she seems to, you know, follow us around a lot, and she seems to just stare at whoever, me and whoever's working, like she's engaged, and I think she's just impressed, you know, that we can fix stuff. You know, if it's just something simple like put in a garbage disposal or something stupid, you know, they might just let us go. But if it's something that's like impressive, like let's say this lady, for instance, I'll just give a real life example. This woman, she probably 30, and she ain't had no hot water. She ain't had no hot water for about probably like a week or two. And we came out there and just impressed her, man. You know, made her feel good. I mean, you got to think, she gone from no hot water to kind of like what the podcast was talking about, to these grown men that are coming in and fixing something she don't know nothing about. She done got other people to come in and, you know, mess her up, rip her off, and we come in. Not only do we fix it, but you gotta think, she in her head now like, yo, I'm gonna get a shower. She just feeling good. Like, if it's a job that makes a woman feel good, you gonna have a chance. I forget what other jobs y'all said. Truck driver. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna say truck drivers don't get women, but is that the type of women? Are we gonna count that the type of women that truck drivers mainly get? Y'all know the stigma with truck drivers. I don't know if it's true or false, but we all know. And they said a couple other things, man, but I don't know. This day and age, I just think I think it could be for both genders too. If you're a woman and you trying to get a guy, make us feel good. You know what I'm saying? If you make me feel good, it doesn't really matter how good you look and what you got. You know, do you even got your own stuff? Do you got kids? Like, these things don't really matter if you're the type of female that when I'm around you, you just make me feel good. Like, you don't even have to do anything. You don't have to. The less is more sometimes. But if you're somebody that I come around, or you come around me, and I'm like, man, I'm not stressed at all around this girl. Like, this girl, I was stressed, but now just being around her energy, and that's the main thing. You know, if you're a female and you can make your dude like relaxed, not even just talking about having sex and stuff like that, like sexual stuff, I'm just talking about just like a vibration, you know. And I think it's like that for both sexes. We got lost in all of this social media thinking everybody, like, a man needs a woman that's perfect shape, a woman that can cook, clean, no kids, young. And then you think women need a guy making six figures, this high value, top notch guy. But then you look around and you see attractive women with average guys. And them average guys, they probably only making around 50, 60,000 a year. And, you know what I'm saying? Their girl feels secure around her. Make the woman feel secure. And the same thing with us. Like, if you're a girl, make us feel secure that when we at work, we know you ain't got to be home cooking and cleaning and all that, but you not in the streets. You can do whatever you want, but as long as we at work and we ain't got to worry about, you know, when we come home, are you going to stress us out? That's the main thing. A lot of women don't realize when your man's at work, when I'm at work, I've been in relationships where I didn't want to come home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to stay at work, but I didn't want to come home. Because I know when I come home, it's going to be an argument, or she's going to do something that's going to just make me not want to be with her. And now I got to, like, you know what I'm saying, put up with something. I think we need to stop putting up with people that don't treat us right. You know what I'm saying? But let's move on from there, man. All right. So let's talk about the main subject, the key bridge. Shout out to Jay Remy. He suggested I do this topic, something to talk about. I definitely shout out to Smooth. I definitely got to check his podcast because I didn't catch when y'all talked about the key bridge. Maybe you did at the end, but like that's one thing about the podcast I wish you would have done earlier. All the hype that I was hearing about talking about the key bridge, and at least for a good hour you didn't speak on it. But I think you might have touched on it, but I'm not sure. It wasn't like a big topic as far as what I seen. But man, I don't even know if I'd be allowed to speak the full truth of what I really feel like happened. No, okay, shout out to Smooth TV. They did touch on it. I think I was just leaving. I was about to eat or something like that. Yeah, they did touch on it because they were talking about how it was Baltimore was a main port. It's crazy that if that boat would have hit anywhere else, that the whole bridge wouldn't have collapsed. It hit the one spot, and now I might be. See, I'm not perfect. I'm not God, but this is as far as what I see. It's just my point of view. And the information that I've read and you know what I've seen so far, the spot it hit was the perfect spot for it to hit to collapse the whole thing like a deck of cards. And it's scary, man. When you watch that footage, like, man, you can say that it was random, it was whatever. But then when you go back and you watch that footage and you're like, that seemed like a demolition crew, man. And I remember when the Twin Towers, that seemed the same way. I've never seen some, you know, something so supposed to be sturdy. We talking about towers and the bridge, stuff like that, just disintegrate, just fold. And even before I knew anything really, when I seen that video, it gave me chills almost, man. And at that point, I didn't know if there was how many people were on it. And what gave me the most chills, this wasn't even a conspiracy. This was just like straight facts on the news. Can you imagine? I just gotta check, make sure we still online. Can you imagine? You know, you on the crew of, you know, doing some work on the bridge, and you on your, I think they said they was on their lunch break or something like that. 1:30 in the morning. You ain't got that much energy, you know, you trying to get through the night so you can make it home, and all of a sudden you see this big ship coming. It's all cool. The lights go out. You're like, oh crap. They come back on. All you see is that's like a horror movie, man. So rest in peace to everybody that fell, you know, for all our fallen people, man. You know, I hope we can help their family. I think people should start putting out GoFundMe's for the families, because you got to thank them. They're hardworking men, and it's gonna be hard for their family, man. Now, I don't want to get too much into like exactly what I think. I think we got to give it time. I seen somebody comment on it, and people are already like defensive and mad. I don't want to offend nobody, you know. But something ain't sitting right. That's what I will say. You know, because I came on Smooth TV group to drop this live stream / podcast. What is this, a live stream? I did this to tell the truth, man. And, you know, all 2024 I've been telling the truth. Ever since I seen Cat Williams at the start of the year in January do what he did, and then Monique came out, and then, you know, now Diddy, which we're going to talk about next. Don't y'all see every month someone else is getting exposed? And you can quote me. Go back to one of the lives I did early January. I did this right after the Cat Williams in January. I said this is the year of exposure, what good and bad. Everything will get exposed. Everything's coming to light now. Nobody can hide anymore. And I said it's going to come down to even people in your family. It's the year of the exposure. But back to the bridge, man. You know, I don't want to get in trouble or offend nobody, but I came on here to speak my truth and talk about it. I try to give y'all what y'all asked for. So if y'all ever want me to speak on a topic, just hit me up or tag me, and I'll speak on whatever it is, as long as it's within reason and I know about it. But man, some just don't sit right with me. One of the things is like it hit the perfect spot. Not only that, here's another thing that I've read. Even if ships like that lose power, they got backup like generators and stuff and engines that can still steer the ship. And on top of that, how did it lose power right before? I think they said 6 minutes before crashing, it lost power. And then by the time it came back on, it was a wrap. And then if you dig a little deeper, which I'm not going to dig too much deeper, but if you dig a little deeper, you'll see a lot of us just look at what happened, and this is how we get distracted. Yes, I don't want to overlook the people who have fell and lost their life, but whenever something like this happens, if it is a conspiracy or whatever, we're too focused on what actually happened rather than what's the reason. Well, we know that there's a total eclipse coming on the 8th. And no matter what you know about it or whatever happens, I'm not saying anything's going to even happen on that day, but we know that that solar eclipse is going to spark something. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know something's going to come from that spiritual. And not only, where a lot of people probably think I would go is so close together, but even more than that, to dig deeper than that, if you look at what the solar eclipse does, the effect of the solar eclipse to the world, I I don't know if it's to like the axis of the world, but just to like the foundation of the world and how the world operates and you know, survives, how the world stays afloat. That solar eclipse is basically, it's going to cause a collapse of something similar to the bridge. And they spoke on this before this event even happened at the Key Bridge, that the solar eclipse, what's going to happen is is going to cause something to slowly collapse. And it just collapsed. And then if you dig a little deeper, you'll see that that's a major port. That's the Key Bridge. That's a major port. For one, now everybody got to go through the tunnel. Everybody got to go through the tunnel. Tell me this. I know some people will say, well, that's not that big of a deal. Well, a lot of y'all might be thinking, now it's going to get backed up and stuff like that. It's going to take longer. You got to think bigger than that. What if they took the toll out? I'm not going to dig much deeper. I don't think I'm allowed to on Facebook. But what if they took the tolls out, the tunnels? What if they got rid of the tunnels? Then what do? We're going to start riding boats? Not just that. Can major ships, see, I don't know about this, but can major ships pass through that water now? Are they able? I don't know how much of the bridge is in the water. Are you capable of getting by it? But it's just something to think about, man. Like, one of the scariest things about it is the fact that if they take out the tunnels, you're not getting in or out. And it's just crazy, man. Like, the Key Bridge it's a major piece in Baltimore. Like, it's such a money. There's so much economy tied up in this bridge for so many different reasons, whether by law or unlawfully, you know, crooked or straight. The Key Bridge is a big factor, you know, in Baltimore. Things are going to change. And yeah, man, so rest in peace to anybody who might have lost their life. But, you know, we take a moment of silence just to pray for the people that are suffering through it, their families. Just give a prayer to the Father God. I know that you're in control of everything. And although you might not have collapsed this bridge, this might have been dark forces doing it, which it probably was. But you have a bigger plan to this. And I know people are going to blame you. And they can't always understand the things you do. But you always do things for the good of the world and the good of us. So whatever happens, I know you're going to take care of their families. And I just ask you to don't give up on us. I know that a lot of us we're fallen and we're in the dark. A lot of us are just losing hope, and we don't know what to do. The world is in fear, and a lot of people can't see that you're the only thing that gives us air. You're the only thing that keeps us going. And although Satan may do things and you may get the blame, but I just pray, Father God, that you don't give up on us. I know as human beings, we've destroyed the earth. We've destroyed each other. We've cursed you. We went against everything that you told us not to go against. I just ask you, God, that you just stay patient with us as long as possible, because I feel like there's still a lot of people out there that are not saved yet. And I know that when Christ returns, that means that it's over for people being saved. And I know that Christ will return at the perfect time. And I ask you to give each of us the power to keep spreading the seeds, man. Keep giving us hope. Show people that are in the dark. Keep waking people up. And don't give up on us. Because although some people may curse you, God, they don't know. A lot of people don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they say. And you know that more than me. I'm not asking you for things because you don't know them. I'm just asking you as a loyal servant to just bear with us and help us and keep giving us the light that we need every day. And I hope that through all the tragedies that happen and are to come, that people will find you like I did, because you changed my life. And I don't ever want to go back to how I was. And I just hope that other people see it and they call on you. Just bless the families that have lost people, and just don't take your light away. That's all I ask. And I'm gonna keep spreading your name, whether people curse me or not. I'm gonna keep spreading your name, because I know that they just don't know, and that's all right. Just please warm their heart and give them the light so they can see the way I can. Because I know if they can see the way I can see, if I'm able to wake up, so can they. Because I was in the dark and you saved me, guys. So I just want to thank you. Amen. I don't really know how to do like prayers like that for other people, in front of people or on live. I mainly just pray when I'm by myself, and I don't pray for myself that much. I pray for others mostly, and I think that's what we forget. A lot of people will say, "Oh, I've been praying to God for years. God never answers my prayers." What are you praying for? Is that all you're praying? Is that all you're praying for is yourself? Because if all you do is pray for yourself, He's not going to answer you. Prayers are not just, we're not supposed to pray for ourselves. And this is where a lot of people get it messed up. I hear a lot of people saying that I've been praying for this, praying for that. I've been sick and He didn't answer me. I went through this. It's like, my mom got cancer, and like, you're just thinking selfishly. Why are you not praying for people that you don't know? Why are you not praying for your enemies? Why are you not praying for people all around you? Why just you and your family? Why the only people you praying for is you and your family? Only the people that directly affect you. And I know you might look at praying for your mom or dad as humble, but it's really not, because you're only praying for your mother or father or dad because you shouldn't call any man father, first of all. You're only praying for your family because it affects you. You're not praying for your family because you genuinely love people and you know that it's making the world better. And that's what God wants. You're praying for your family because you don't want to cry no more. You don't want to see nobody pass away in your family because it hurts you. Like, that's all I hear from people when they talk about God never answers my prayers. It's selfish prayers. He doesn't answer selfish prayers. Stop being selfish. That's not saying you can't pray for yourself. But if you pray for yourself more than you pray for everybody else, that's why He ain't answering you. Start praying for other people. Pray for your enemies. Pray for the people you don't like. And in return, He's going to bless you. If you spend your prayers praying for other people and just thanking God, you don't need to pray for yourself. God knows what you want. God knows exactly what you want. You do not have to ask Him for things that are for you. But you don't have these things yet because you're selfish. Oh, He didn't give me a Lamborghini. He didn't give me that dirt bike I wanted. Oh, he didn't give me that big house. So what? That's not prayers. That's called a wish. He doesn't answer wishes. He's not a genie. He's God. He knows what you want. So start praying for others so he can give you the things that you want. You start doing good deeds for the sake of his name, not for the sake of doing the deed or because you're supposed to do it because you love God and he's what he means to you. Do it for that reason. Spread his name. But don't do it because you're going to get something in return or you feel like God's going to... A lot of people do things for God because they don't want to let him down. Or, I'm supposed to do this. No, do it because God is amazing. And God is the only one that can save us, for one. He's the only one that can save us. If a lot of y'all curse at God, but you don't realize without him we are doomed. Do you know right now, even Rick Ross, and you got to think, if Rick Ross, there's a lot of people got more money than Rick Ross, right? Rick Ross is building bunkers underground right now. And a lot of y'all might be saying, yeah, that's real estate. Rick Ross is putting these bunkers out. He's promoting them as real estate. Instead of leveling up, you're leveling up, but going underground. That's the new wealth. But what you don't see, that's what they tell you. What you don't see is they're trying to escape. See, some people know when Christ returns that they're good. Some people are waiting for Christ to return. And they want Christ to return. Others are waiting, but they're prepping. You see a lot of doomsday prepping. If you have a relationship with Christ and you know you're good, why are you doomsday prepping? What is a bunch of water? What is saving up a bunch of food? What is that going to do for you? He's going to wipe it all out. That doomsday shelter is not going to last. It may last for a little bit, but eventually it's done. The only people that are doomsday prepping is people that lack God. Because they know once he returns, it's over. You think he can't go underground? Maybe not at first. I'm sure that you're going to make it a little bit, but the fact that they're disguising doomsday prepping for leveling up and new wealth is a whole nother level of crazy. And you should be concerned. So, it is what it is, man. We could talk about Diddy. I'm not going to stay on here too much longer. We could talk about Diddy. What else can we say about Diddy? We know what he was. We knew what he was when, we not first seen him, but we knew who he was when they first had them allegations a long time ago. Diddy was kind of like Michael Jackson in a way, and R. Kelly is similar to them, where it started as like a rumor, and we just always knew there was something off. But we seen how great he was, music, producing, just being an entrepreneur in hip hop. And as kids, we thought that was special. There's not rappers really doing that until all the big name rappers started doing that. And we're like, man, I miss the street rappers. And we're seeing like a shortage of street rappers. There's too many rappers either like broke or rich. There's not a lot of like average street rappers that are coming up and you can watch their growth. Most of them just, for example, Travis Scott. Go look at Travis Scott's YouTube page. The first video he ever put up is like 1 million views. He ain't got to come up. A lot of these rappers, man, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not gonna get into who these rappers really are because a lot of y'all, that's your heroes. But I'm just here to tell you, stop worshiping these rappers. Stop worshiping these human beings. Stop worshiping all these idols. And just be open to God. It's not the Godcast, but I gotta spread the gospel, man. I'm not gonna do a stream. I'm not gonna do a video. I'm not gonna create content and not spread the gospel. It's just not gonna happen. I didn't intend it. I didn't intend to do it, but it's not gonna happen because it makes this content pointless. Without the gospel, it's pointless. So what I would say for Diddy, people are wondering, is he good? Is he bad? What's gonna happen? Doesn't matter what he's done if he changes his heart and gives his life to God and gives his life to Christ. That's what will save him. That's what will save everybody. Rick Ross, all these people. Meek Mill. We could get into Meek Mill. Man. Meek Mill was one of the first, like new era rappers, like modern rappers. Like new school, whatever you want to say, like Drake era, you know what I'm saying? Post Lil Wayne and Eminem. You got Wayne and Eminem, that was like the last of that era. Jay-Z, Nas. Then you got the new era, which is like Drake, Meek Mill, people like that. I used to like Meek, and then something happened when he started battling Drake, and Drake dissed him and just destroyed him. And then honestly, Meek came back with some fire songs at Drake, you know what I'm saying? And he went at 50 too. He had some good records, but it's like the content wasn't there. The song was, the beat was, but the first beat that he used was trash. And that first diss record he put out, he was too focused on the ghostwriter. You battling somebody who's a pop. Drake told you what it was. You got beat by a singing dude. If he's a pop rapper who sings, why would you think that he wouldn't try to get help? Drake he's not successful off of his lyrics and his songs. He's successful off his voice. You knew that. You shouldn't have battled with him. Then you came with, and even if that ain't the case, you came with a trash diss. You came with a trash song, and then you came back with 2 bangers, but it was all, your career was over, bro. And then all of a sudden, it just, I can't explain it, man. The music changed, man. I don't know what it was. Like, he still had some decent music, but the art changed, and then somehow like most beef dies, they're cool again, and now Meek's with Nicki Minaj, and he's not the same rapper. And I don't want to get too deep into what Meek Mill is now to the game, but just type in Meek Mill Puff Daddy or Meek Mill P Diddy or P Diddy Meek Mill, and you can connect the dots, and you can connect the dots with a lot of rappers. Orlando Brown said, I was just watching the No Jumper episode with Orlando. They had Orlando Brown on there, and it's like we feel like we get let down when these rappers let us down, and we find out they're softer than we really thought. They ain't who we thought. And it's like, that's our fault. You know what I'm saying? What did you expect? It's our fault, man, that we put faith in the industry people. The music ain't there. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want. The music ain't there. And at the end of the day, man, Satan just don't give out free checks. You gotta pay, man. It costs a price. And that price is something you don't even own. And it's bigger than even your soul. Because God has your soul. He owns your soul. You can't sell it. I've said this a few times before. Not many times, but I've said this before. The devil, it's not your soul that he wants. He wants you soulless. But it's not your actual soul that he's after. Because he knows that's God. He don't need your soul. What's your soul going to do for him? It ain't Shang Tsung. He just wants you to reject God. If you can reject God, he got you. He got you. But, yeah, man. A lot of people think that Shang Tsung is Satan, you know, out there collecting souls. No, God's people are out here collecting souls. For God. A lot of people out here are soulless. So it's up to Christians to come out here, spread these seeds, and these seeds sprout up souls. And these souls save people's lives. And they go back to God, because that's our Father. A lot of us forget where we came from. A lot of us think our father is some guy named John or Bart. You know what I'm saying? Some guy from Baltimore that, you know, married our mom or got with her mom. And no. It's biblical. It's in the Bible. You shouldn't call no man father except God. They got us already rejecting God since birth. We're trained to reject God. And by the time that we find out who God is, we've done rejected him so much that it's our identity. And for a lot of us, it's almost impossible to change that. It almost takes a near-death experience, and for me, it's what it took. I didn't just wake up one day and find out who God was and just change my life. No, I found out who God was when I was on the streets. I was homeless. That's when I found out who God was, and I didn't give my life to him. I started following him a little bit. I started talking about him. I started thanking him here and there, and I would go towards him. I would be grateful for some things, but I didn't give my life to him. I wasn't ready to give up that life, man. I wasn't ready to live different. Yeah, I got God at that. God found me at that time, but I still had things to do, man. I still had an agenda, and my agenda was to trick the world into thinking I'm successful when I'm really not. That was my agenda as a human in my past life. It was to make everybody think that I'm better than I really am. Because if people found out who I really was, it's over for me, and that's what I knew. I had to trick everybody. And it's not like I was going around just trying to lie to people and hurt people, but if I really was myself, one thing I noticed, that every time I was myself, most people would either laugh at me, turn on me, talk behind my back, or just disappear. So, or once in a great while, they would stick around because they're real people. I would notice that the real ones were the only ones that would stick around when I was real, but the rest would do me dirty. And just growing up like that, I knew that if people were ever to find out who I really was, which was I wasn't as tough as I acted or I portrayed. I couldn't fight as good as I portrayed. I wasn't as strong. I wasn't as cool. I didn't have really anything to my name that I own. I didn't own the house I lived in. I still don't own the house I live in. I rent. But I didn't even rent. I didn't have nothing. I didn't have a conscience. I didn't have a soul, man. So if you found out who I really was, It's not good for me. So the best thing to do would just be play this character. Play this character, you know what I mean? Call him whatever you want. I always had, some weird nickname for him. And even now, I don't go by my government name. But the name I go by, it has meaning, and it kind of stuck with me. This is the only name that I've used that meant something. The rest of the names were just like ill Zane, like ill, like I'm sick. You know what I mean? I'm dope. You know what I mean? But that Zane name, that was my son's name, and he passed away. And I lost by losing him. That crushed me, man. And it was hard to turn to God after that. Wasn't really until he gave me a baby girl, a daughter, that I actually started seeing him. Like, for real, like, now it makes sense. But will I ever go by my government name as far as like as a, like most people know me as my real name, Mike. This is my name. But it's like online, everybody know me as Zane. That is almost impossible to. I told people what my name is, and they still call me Zane. Zane was kind of a name that people just were calling me. I don't even know. It's not like I really wanted to go by that. It's just something that people call me. It's always been like that, man. Even when I was ill, or they used to call me Mike Miz. Always some weird name that I never really made, but they would always call me these different names, and I'd go with them, and that would be my identity. And but if back then, if you were to find out that really I was just weak, even with my drug addiction, I have a past being a drug addict. Some people knew, but if other people found out, I'd be ruined. I'd have been kicked out of where I was living. Growing up, if my dad would have found out, he found out eventually, but if he would have known what I was doing, it would have been over for me. So even like back to being a kid, man, I used to steal clothes. It didn't matter, man. My whole life, if I were to be myself, it would always seem like it was over for me. It sucks living like that, and I know a lot of y'all probably relate to that. And that's maybe why you can't understand God, because you feel like if you're so good of a God, why I gotta live like this when they're living like that? Stop looking at them. God gave you a gift. He gave you some type of skill or talent or trait. And you suppress that. You suppress it because you're scared that people are going to think you're corny, or you're scared it ain't going to work. People are going to turn on you. Well, my parents going, bro, stop thinking like that. It's not until you actually be yourself that the gift's going to pan out for you. God wouldn't have just gave you a talent. He don't just give people talents unless we're supposed to use them. A lot of y'all have some amazing talent that probably nobody knows except like you and maybe your mom or your best friend, and somebody probably tell you all the time, yo, you got to show the world. Stop hiding this from the world, and you won't listen because you think I ain't good enough. That's why God gave that to you. That's why you're the only person you know who can do that. Look around. God don't just give everybody the same stuff. If we don't use what He gave us, it's over for us, man. So, what do I know, man? Shout out to Smooth TV. Check out their podcast. Shout out to Smooth, man. He's doing some big things, man. I know Smooth gets a lot of hate, but you can't be successful in this world without getting hate. It seemed like every every new thing that Smooth tries to do, he try to create something else or go down this lane. There's always people hating on it or pushing back, laughing at him. I see it all the time, man. But a lot of people are like that, and it's like, what if Smooth just stayed battle rap? If he never did the C Fit, or if he never started podcasts. When I remember when Smooth was first doing podcasts, people were laughing at him when he did the what is it called, the Smooth Connections. Everybody was laughing at him, except like a few people that seen the vision, like, yo, this could lead to something. And what it led to was more range in the podcast. Now he got podcasts with females on it to give the other side. Now it's making more different kind of people. Maybe Smooth Connection ain't pop off the way he wanted yet. Maybe that's in the future. But because of that, and this is why I say don't chase, but go after that skill. Because even if that skill don't pan out, it's going to lead to something. And for me, I think I would say music. I made music for a long time. I never was successful off of it. I feel like if I get in the studio, I can make a hit record, but that's just what I think. I've never done it. I know I can make fire music on my own, but the production ain't there. But I know how to do these things, and I've made a lot of music, and I ain't made nothing off of it. But one day I was like, yo, I need to do music videos. I don't got no money. I'm going to learn how to make my own. From that day on, I've been making content. I found a love, I found a passion for content, man. At first I was just like, yo, I want to make my own music videos. Now, I never popped off with the music videos, but I like making content, I would have never known that if I would have just kept making music and not try to make my own videos, and if I would have let somebody else make my music videos. If I would have did that, I'd probably just be another average rapper that can't do nothing else. I had to go into a lane where, even making my music, I couldn't afford a producer, so I had to learn to make it myself. That skill set right there is similar to editing videos. It's a similar thing, man. And I took what I already knew, and at first I was horrible, man. Like any of y'all that try to edit, I was just like that. I couldn't stand it. It was too much information. But it's like every time I go on the program, I would learn something, and I would always watch my content. I listen to my music. I always study my own stuff to get better. And I try to look out at what else is in my niche. You know what I'm saying? What else is in my field that is similar, and see what they're doing. And see, see what I could take from it without copying. You know what I'm saying? Seeing what they're doing and seeing as other people doing this is like as the niche. Not so much a trend, but you gotta look in your field and see what your competitors are doing, or you might get stuck. A lot of us will keep perfecting it, and we'll keep working on one thing without looking around, and then by the time you know it, that one thing is old and AI took over. And now, for example, I try to learn how to make lyric videos, make my own font, and I finally started making good lyric videos, right? I started learning how to put the words on there and make them like dissolve, move, and all kind of stuff. So, when I speak, or the words in the lyrics for the song will pop out, you'll see them. So I learned how to do that, and I got pretty good with it. But then, as soon as I got good with it, AI's doing it, and not only is AI doing it, it does it better than me. So I'm like, yo, you can't be somebody stuck in a box. If I was ever to be stuck in a box, it'd be over. Imagine if I was somebody like, no, forget that. I learned how to do lyric videos. I ain't gonna use AI. I hate AI. And I was somebody like that, where, all right, now it's gonna take me a week to do one video. Week for one video. that's like a minute long or a snippet, when I can use the AI and it can look better, and it takes me about 20 minutes, you know? So you got to kind of look around, not sell out who you are, but really look at what's going on in your field, so you're not stuck in the past, Might get to a point where lyric videos ain't even a thing. People don't even care. Maybe it'll get to a point where the video doesn't matter and it's just the lyrics. And that's all you see is giant lyrics. And that's all people want. Who knows? But I definitely observe, and I can see how can I take what they're doing and make it my own thing, where I'm not copying, but I'm up to date, but I'm doing my own thing. It's like I stand out. And that's what I try to do. So shout out to everybody who's doing something, man. Don't be scared to just use your skill and, try to do something with it. Because if you're worried about what people think, you're going to get left in the past, and you're going to be at your dead-end job. You're going to come home from your dead-end job and just have a life that you hate, playing the same video game or whatever it is you're doing. I do watch YouTube here and there, but I spend so much time either going to work, coming home, creating content, going live, whatever I'm doing, watching podcasts to see, what's going on in the Christian space, what other Christian content, faith-based creators are doing, and try to keep up, you know what I'm saying, and collab. And I just want to stay thankful, man, because honestly, I'm getting the chance to talk to and network with people that I used to watch, you know what I'm saying, people that I never thought I'd work with. And if you try to, what I found, if you try to force it, you try to force a relationship with somebody in the industry, it's not going to work out. They either gonna do you dirty, they gonna ignore you, laugh at you, or just nothing gonna come from it. It gotta be natural, because I see some people, right? I see some people that I want to work with, and I used to force it. I used to comment on all their videos and or all their posts, and then DM them this big paragraph of why they should work with me and all the stuff that I'm willing to do for free. And it's like, I wasn't real. Just think you don't know somebody, and the first time you meet them, a bunch of likes and then a whole paragraph in your DM. I'll do this for free. This is what I can do. This is why I do it. You inspire me. It's like, bro, I appreciate you, but that's overwhelming. You may think everybody wants help, but some people just want authentic relationships. They don't care about they're not so worried about what you can do for them or what they can do for you. It's like, what could y'all do for each other? What could working with each other, what could that do for the world? And that's where I'm at right now. I don't think of what I could do for you. I'm not in it for the money, man. I got a regular job. Yeah, I don't even work my 9 to 5 for the money. I do it because it puts a roof over my head, but I know if I don't do it, well, for one, it's biblical that if I don't work, we don't eat, man. I mean, God gonna provide food, but if I don't work, I'm not fulfilling what a Christian is supposed to do. We are supposed to sweat and work hard not for our money, but just because Adam and Eve messed up. And because they messed up, men have to work hard all day, basically. Not all day, but you gotta work hard every day, damn near. And women gotta, they get pains. When they go have a kid, they go through pain. They change. It changes them because of what, Adam and Eve. So once I understood that, it's like, I'm not even just, when I work, I get money. I'm not working for a check. but because I'm working, I'm getting the check, if that makes sense. You know, and it's like that kind of with content. I'm not making content to get views or to network with people or to get engagement, but because I make content and it's authentic, people want to, network. And that's how it goes. If you're not chasing something, if you doing something because it's what you want to do, and it's something that's a good thing to do, it pleases God, it's always going to pan out for you if you do it for the right reasons, man. But yeah, man, if comment below if y'all what y'all got about the topics I talked about on this live stream, and if you got a topic you want me to speak on, just let me know. Comment here, DM me, whatever. If you want to work with me, I don't care, man. Whatever you got going on. You want to be on the podcast, let me know. If you want to be on the Godcast, let me know. You want to be on the Smooth TV podcast, he does it pretty much every Wednesday. Let me know. I hit him up, or you can hit up Smooth. Shout out to Smooth. Check out his podcast. But yeah, man, if you sitting back and this video inspired you in any way to want to use what you got, the skill that you were born with, go for it, man. And I only say that because I've seen a lot of videos, and them creators, if not for that video or that creator, I wouldn't be doing certain things. Like, people will spark inspiration. Worry less about entertainment. Like, if you're on social media and you're scrolling, don't scroll or don't focus so much on the entertainment value. Go for the knowledge. Because if you're sitting there scrolling on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, and it's just because you're bored, man, that sucks. But if you do it because you're looking for something to learn, a new skill, it's gonna help you. You never know it's gonna hit your brain and trigger something, good or bad. So just be mindful what you do with your time, man. And this ain't the Godcast, so I don't have to leave with a scripture, but I'm going to anyway, just because, because God bless me, and every single day, I can't give back the way that I want to, but I know if I keep doing what I'm doing, it pleases God. And let's read Luke chapter 2. No, Luke. Let's see. I guess it's Luke chapter 2, verse 3. John preaches repentance. Now in the 15th year of the reign of... Man, I can't even see. Staring at that light. I've been staring at the light in the video because the camera's right above it. So when I look at the book, I see this bright light, man. It's hard to read. So forgive me. Now in the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar, Pontius Pilate began governor of Judea, and Herod being tetrarch of Galilee, and his brother Philip tetrarch of Iturea, and the reign of Trachonitis, and Lysanias, and tetrarch of Abilene, Annas and Cephas being the high priest. The word of God came unto John, the son of Zacharias, in the wilderness. And he came into the county about Jordan, preaching the baptism of repentance for the remission of sins, as it is written in the book of the words of Isaiah the prophet, saying, the voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare ye for the word of the Lord, make his path straight. Every valley shall be filled, and every mountain and hill shall be brought low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough ways shall be made smooth, and all the flesh shall see the salvation of God. John addresses the multitude. We'll read this and then we out, man. Then said he to the multitude that came forth to be baptized of him, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come? Bring forth therefore fruits worthy of repentance, and begin not to say within yourselves, We have Abraham our father. For I say unto you, that God is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham. And now also the axe is laid unto the root of the trees. Every tree therefore which bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. And the people asked him, saying, What shall we do then? He answered and saith unto them, He that hath 2 coats, let him impart to him that hath none, and he that hath meat, let him do likewise. Then came also publicans to be baptized, and said unto him, Master, what shall we do? And he said unto them, Exact no more than that which is appointed you. And the soldiers likewise demanded of him, saying, And what shall we do? And he said unto them, Do violence to no man, neither accuse any falsely, and be content with your wages. And as the people were in expectation, and all men mused in their hearts of John, whether he were the Christ or not, John answered, saying unto them all, I indeed baptize you with water, but one mightier than me cometh, that latches whose shoes I am not worthy to unloose. He shall baptize you with the Holy Ghost and with fire, whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor, and will gather the wheat into his garner, but the chaff he will burn with fire unquenchable. And many other things in the exhortation preached he unto the people. But Herod the tetrarch, being reproved by him for Herodias his brother Philip's wife, and for all the evils which Herod had done, added yet this above all, that he shut up John in prison. So you see the part where it's talking about what should you do if you have 2 coats? Give one to somebody. If you have plenty, give it to somebody. Help somebody. Don't just keep everything for yourself. You don't need more than what you need. Like, a lot of us think, I gotta save up all this. If it's about money, I gotta stack as much as I can. If it's about food, I gotta load the fridge up. If it's about this, that, I gotta just hoard it all. No, you only need a certain amount. So take what you need and give the rest to people who really do need it. It's simple. Some of us will have 2 jackets and don't need both of them, but we don't want to give them away because we just want 2 jackets. You know, you got 2 pairs of shoes, but your homeboy, he got holes in his shoes, but you ain't gonna give him one of your pairs of shoes because they cost money, right? You know, it's like that. Like, if you don't need something, give it to somebody who needs it. Don't keep more than you need, because in this world, if you take and keep more than you need, you're gonna lack in other areas. You know, and the people around you gonna suffer. If people around you are suffering and you can help them, if people around you suffer, regardless of what you think. You know, yeah. So that was the live stream, man. Hope y'all got something from this. And if you wonder why I'm holding this mic like this, it may look weird, but I really don't care, because I used to do everything for the visuals. I would have clipped this on my shirt, right? But if I clip this on my shirt, you see, if it's right here, it don't sound as good. You know, it just, It's lower, more muffled. But I would keep it clipped down there because it's out the way. You can't see it, and make the visuals better. You know, you'll focus more on me. I don't care about that, man. Audio is so important, and it sucks it took me a long time to realize that. You know, most of the time creating content, man, I'm too focused on the video, and I'm just now finally starting to improve all the audio. So that's why I'm holding this just better, you know. So, but that's the stream, man. I hope you got something from it. And if you commented, sorry I couldn't read it. You know, I can't see the screen. And if you caught this on the playback, I appreciate you. I'm out, man. Peace. Smooth TV, baby.